everybody? Welcome to Urban Geek. We got a really good show for you today. This is going to be really fucking dope. I swear, I promise y'all. Don't forget, though, that it is a spoiler. So we're going to talk about a whole lot of stuff, and everything we're going to talk about, we're going to spoil that shit. So we got The Godfather of Harlem, Season 1, Episode 8. Watchmen, Episode 5. Rick and Morty, Episode 2 of the new season, Season 4. Titans, Episode 11. And finally, The Mandalorian, Episode 2. So,
Watchmen. Did you say Watchmen?
I did, yeah. Watchmen, Episode 5. So, shit, I'm Feral Fly. And...
I am the artist formerly known as Nizza. Don't worry about it. TR. We just gonna go with TR, everybody, but it's gonna say Nizza.
All right. Well, actually, it looked like the title broke, so we didn't have to even worry about that. Somehow I fucked the title up, but that's all right.
Cool.
That's all right. All right, that's perfect. All right. So, wait, do we got any news this week?
News. What is it? Was it like Twitter, Facebook, and was it Instagram offered up a privacy thing for your search menu? I don't know if that's news to you. Whether it's an option in the privacy settings where you could actually go in and delete your search history so that the powers that be allegedly can't track what you've been doing if you believe that they really deleting it. Like, I don't know about that.
I mean, if they say they deleting it, they kind of got to, or although they could just say they deleting it and then end up and if they ever get caught, we come up with some bullshit ass excuse. So you got a point. What else? Any more news you heard about?
Shit. Well, I guess everybody know that Marvel announced 5 new movie dates, but they haven't announced what they are. I think it's. I don't know if they're exclusively for Phase 5, but they go into Phase 5. So they've got like they went from 3 Marvel films a year to 4. Not counting all of the Disney Plus stuff.
The things you got to ask yourself is like, I mean, if they writing these stories out and linking them together years in advance, did they change a story somewhere in order to add 4 new movies into the story? You know what I'm saying?
I think they constantly changing it because the acquisition of Fox, I mean, they wanted to do so much, but they couldn't necessarily do it. They have to introduce the X-Men, and they have said that, I think they said the Fantastic Four are coming in 2021 or 2022. So one of those dates would be the Fantastic Four. And you got to imagine the X-Men is somewhere in there, so.
Okay, I guess that makes sense. If they haven't filmed yet. I would just think that they got these stories written out like years ahead of time. But maybe not. I guess that's why what's her name felt like she was just crammed up in there.
Who that? Black Widow?
No, she never felt crammed. She's awesome. Talking about that annoying one.
Captain Marvel? You don't like Captain Marvel?
Not at all. But all right, is that it for the news? Because we can go right into Godfather of Harlem if you're ready.
Yeah, no more news.
Okay, Godfather of Harlem, Season 1, Episode 8. So just to sum it up, synopsis: Bumpy got shot in Episode 7. And now with the March of Washington occurring in the background, we get to see how Bumpy deals with being shot by one of the Chin's man, Vincent's man, as well as the fallout from the war that Bumpy was able to start between Vincent and oh boy, I can't even remember his name.
Right. Yeah.
You know, Bumpy has to make a choice on. He sets up an opportunity to kill Vincent. He sets himself up an opportunity to kill Vincent, and then he has to make a choice. Now he's threatened by all sides because everybody know he plays the game. He's threatened by the family, all the families in general. I guess the union, the mafia union. He's threatened by all of them, and then he's also threatened directly by what is dude's name with the fucking thing right here on his lip? The enemy of Vincent.
It's something like bologna or something, ain't it? But Bologna, something. I don't know.
Well, he's threatened by him too. He says, "Look, I ain't stupid. If you was to kill Vincent, I know the families will blame me because we're at war currently, and it will come down on me. So nah, you ain't finna do that shit." But Bumpy was finna do the shit anyway, and it seems that the only thing that stopped him is that he simply did not want to kill Vincent in front of Vincent's daughter. He was looking dead at his daughter when it came time for him to make the final call or give the okay for his trigger man to pull the trigger, and he backed out. No fucking with families. So there's the synopsis. It's pretty good. What are your thoughts?
First off, shout out to Godfather of Harlem and the creators and everything for doing a good job in the writing, for the character development, and incorporating the children into it, because I felt like that's one of the places where power fell all the way apart. Like they picked these kids up when they wanted to, and then they set these kids down and you didn't see them. And the fact that I want to say every episode you see Bumpy and his daughter, granddaughter, and then even his relationship with his daughter, his actual daughter. The development for his character is integral, or I should say the development of him as a father with his daughter and his granddaughter is integral to who he is as a person and his development on what he's going to do and the decisions he makes. And you saw that come to a head in this one where he was just like, he had an opportunity, and I know that shit ate him up. And he just didn't take the shot. He was like, look, you know what? At the end of the day, a man got to have principles. And he got to thinking about like, hey, my daughter's words of seeing me get shot in front of her. And he was like, I don't want to be that guy. So, I mean, that speaks volumes to the man that he is.
But do you think that he was in any way affected by the multiple threats? Because if Vincent had died, somebody was going to kill his family. Yeah. Somebody was going to come at Bumpy. Like, he couldn't. His original plan was if he kills him, they'll blame it on Dude, and he gets away scot free. But Dude said himself, "If you kill him, I'm finna kill you." You know what I'm saying? So,
in a lot of ways, it was self-serving.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and the fact that his daughter just come to him and said, "Am I gonna die, Daddy? I heard the threat that was made against me." Like,
yeah.
What are your other thoughts?
I will say, if she ever pull it to Reek and decide I'm off this motherfucker, at least it looked like they playing it. You know, they're gonna give you a legitimate reason for it. Like, they gonna play it out. Like, she's still on board. She done heard the death threats on the phone. She done seen the letter that you got another daughter, and his actual daughter is like, I'm not letting my child go. So that's got to be problematic later on down the line. That's that whole. You show a gun in Act 1, you're going to have to fire it by Act 2. So at some point, I don't know if maybe Bumpy will get shot again. Like, I'm not really familiar with his actual story in real life. So I don't really know how many times he was shot. I don't know when he actually died. And to be honest with you, I don't even want to look that up. I don't want to spoil that. I want to let the show. You know,
that's funny. Real life is considered spoilers at this point, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I just want to say that dude, Vincent. Holy shit! This guy. First of all, this show is way better than fucking Power. Now, I still haven't gone back and looked at season 1 and season 2 of Power. So I don't know if season 1 of this show is better than season 1 of Power. I would really have to go back and give Power its fair shake. But as of right now, as we comparing to the shit I watched a few weeks ago to the shit, a couple weeks ago to the shit I watched today or last week, this show is night and day fucking difference. Night and day difference in everything. The writing and every damn thing else. Second, all the actors are amazing. And actresses. Everybody's like I damn near see no weak links in this show as far as acting.
Even the kids are doing pretty goddamn good. But the dude who playing Vincent, and I gotta say thank you, because I know you told me last week that he was the guy from Full Metal Jacket. Yeah.
Full Metal Jacket. And I went back and watched that shit. And man, this dude is one hell of an actor, because he was just a dumb fuck in Full Metal Jacket. Obviously he had mental issues in this PC day and age we living in. But whatever, he was a totally different person. You know what I'm saying? And so this guy, and he's killing it in this show. He is a good, what's the word? He's a good enemy to
anybody. Shit, he played Kingpin in the Daredevil show. So
but his role, his character is a good antagonist to our hero, quote unquote, to Bumpy. Like he's so good playing opposite Bumpy. It's like I'm just totally enamored by the job that everybody's doing. I really like to see the team up between the two men of God, men of their respective gods. The preacher and
Malcolm
X.
Clayton Adam Powell. Adam Clayton Powell.
Yeah.
Malcolm X. Yeah.
Like to see the buddy cop thing that they did, that was really great. To see them play off of each other. They had so many differences, but they were able to find common ground. I thought it was really interesting to see him. I thought the white supremacist point of view was interesting.
How so?
I haven't really put much thought into how much I agree with his point of view. But what he said to Malcolm X, I'm a white supremacist, you're a black supremacist. We have way more in common than you think.
I believe that.
And in some ways, I'm sure he's right, but I don't really want to expound on it because I really haven't put a lot of thought into it. And because my knee-jerk reaction would be to say, well, the Malcolm X side of things, they at that time were getting held down, and they were a necessary response to something. The Nazi side of things, you're already on top. Why do you need an extremist group? But they don't feel that way. So, I don't even want to get into it. I haven't put a lot of thought into it, but of course the blackness in me says apples is not the same fucking thing. No way in hell. We were literally getting our ass beat in the street. We needed somebody to lock and load the guns, or and walk around and fight back a little bit.
I don't think it's the struggle is definitely not the same. But I think it's more so the similarities are in principle. It's kind of like the Jedi and the Sith. The principles are structured the same, even though you might believe in veganism and I might believe in cannibalism. The way we go about consumption and preserving food and everything, all of that is similar. So I mean, I think more times than not, adversaries really do mirror each other. Even if you got cowboys and samurais, you got to look at how they each have codes and how they go about their codes. I mean, they're carried out completely different from different backgrounds. But
I mean, what he did say was, I mean, you don't want to be here, and we don't want you here, so we got that in common. You know what I mean? So
yeah, well, that was a tactic of the white supremacists.
One day, I think I would like to. I don't know. It's a touchy subject. I think I would like to take an intellectual drive, but here's where I land on that subject. Whatever this guy thinks, I think that when a group is oppressed, you need the stick and the carrot to end oppression. So a lot of people look at like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and want to say that this one is right. And they touched upon that in this show too a lot. You know, the division or the opposition between Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. And a lot of people want to say this one's wrong, this way's wrong, and this way's right. But the truth is, no one would have never listened to Martin Luther King without the threat of Malcolm X behind it. You need a carrot and a stick in order to affect change. So that's where I land on that. Now, the white supremacists, although they may have a point in saying that some of the tactics or rhetoric used is similar, I don't think they have a valid reason to use that similar rhetoric or tactics or anything like that. But that's just my opinion. I'm sure everyone has their own.
Okay, as a black man in America, I was taking one of my college classes. I think it was something like history or something, literature, one of those. I can't remember. But when I was studying and I'm Googling shit, a quote or a comment, you know how you get those little cookies, they pop up, look at this and look at that or whatever. Something Hitler wrote popped up. And you know, it's Hitler, worst person ever to be born. But I was researching something about Africans, and it was Hitler's comments on Africans brought to America and what he thought of Africans. And when I started reading, I got stuck for a minute because it honestly made me, I want to say these are teachings from, what is this book? Mein Kampf, however you say it. And it made me want to read that book because he spoke highly about black people.
Interesting.
And from my perspective, it seemed like he spoke highly. Like he felt like, I'm paraphrasing, but black people were the jewels of God, and the Europeans took us from Africa or stole the jewels from God and took us and enslaved us. And he felt that World War III would be started when we realized our worth and we realized the full magnitude of our oppression, and we unified and we actually educated ourselves and we lifted ourselves up.
Isn't this the same motherfucker who thought that ain't no way a black person could beat him at the Olympics, beat a white person at the Olympics?
But I mean, like we were saying earlier, one of the tactics of white supremacy is deceit, treachery, to bestow ignorance upon you. So how he actually thought, because if you gave me Mein Kampf or told me like, hey, read some Hitler literature, I'm going to look at you like you stupid. But the enemy studies your tactics. You know what I'm saying? And so it would not be irresponsible or ignorant to actually read what it is that white supremacists are fucking teaching themselves. And so from the short little parts that I read, and it would be ignorant for me to totally take the interpretation of that entire book out of context by a few words. And I think that was the point to the assignment, was how people can take a few words and misconstrue them, because I think that was the sole purpose of Mein Kampf, and that was Hitler's thing. He would take like words that were meant for good and he would misconstrue them. And that's the tactic. But it pretty much just said like, we was the shit, and if you know better, you'll keep us in the dark. And he felt like, hey, over there in America, when black folks figure it out, y'all fucked. And so that just kind of made me think like, this is a white supremacist like mindset. Y'all afraid.
Oh yeah, so absolutely. Fear is what drives them. That's their biggest thing. As far as I can understand it, fear is definitely what drives them. Which brings us back in the end to see the Christian man take a more Malcolm X tactic.
Right, he sucker punched him.
Punched him in the fucking gut.
Like, that shit felt damn good. Yeah.
It's great writing in the show. I really like it. I really like it. I really like the different perspectives that they bring down. And I kind of can't wait to see what happens next.
Yeah. My bad for going off on a tangent.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. It's interesting shit. I'm gonna have to fact check that shit.
Yeah, I know.
I want to see. I gotta see. Yeah, okay. You gave me some stuff to think about.
That's like I said. It kind of made me want to read the book to see like, what is this motherfucker over here teaching them?
All right. So you ready for Watchmen?
Yes.
All right. Hang on. Okay, so Watchmen, Season 1, Episode 5. I forgot the name of this particular episode. They got some pretty creative names. Do you remember the name of it?
Something little to no fear of lightning or something.
Okay. Well, so quick recap. In this week's episode, we follow Looking Glass, Wade, and wow, what an interesting and strange ride it was. I gotta say, when I first turned the damn thing on, I wasn't quite even sure if I was watching the right show. But we follow him in the past and we follow him in the present. Follow him about 30 years ago, and we get to see the giant squid attack, or at least a little. Yeah, from a few miles away in Jersey, I believe, and we get to see the current day, or 30 years later, reaction and how it is still affecting people from Wade's perspective. Now, in addition to that, Looking Glass, he goes on a date with a woman who is, unbeknownst to him, a cavalry member. She leaves a trail of breadcrumbs that he follows to a secret cavalry hideout. No, I'm sorry. The secret cavalry hideout that they were in fact looking for. And it is there that he discovers that the senator, Mr. Perfect, is leader of the cavalry group, of course. So the senator sits him down. This whole thing was a setup. They wanted Wade to come there. The senator sits him down and gives him evidence of the truth about the squid attack, that it was a lie, that it was done by somebody here, Mandius, and insists that he helps to remove, quote unquote, remove Angela from the board. Obviously, she's getting in the way. She had Jade, his partner, kid. Oh, that's another thing that was divulged. That Jade, what's dude name? The leader, Judd. That Judd was on the. It is now confirmed that Judd was working with this particular group, and whether directly or indirectly working with the cavalry. It's been confirmed, and they're concerned that Angela either had him killed, Angela either killed him or knows who killed him, and so they want her taken off the board for, and I quote, a couple of days, which means a lot. That sentence right there means a lot. So Looking Glass ends up complying with this by taking advantage of the bug that old Silk Spectre left on his desk, gets Angela to confess about what's going on in her cover-up of Judd's murder, and is promptly arrested, thereby removing her from the board and not taking her out the picture. She's no longer able to get in their way. And we end the episode with, for some strange reason, even though he did what he was asked to do, the cavalry sneaking up to his house, locked and loaded. What are your thoughts?
This was one of my favorite episodes thus far. And I'm being biased, and this shit is silly, but it had one of the greatest musical masterpieces ever created throughout this whole episode, at least at a minimum 5 times. Careless Whispers. That is my shit. That is my shit.
What song is that? Is that the song they ended on?
That's the song they started. They played that song in the House of Mirrors. They played that song when he came out of the House of Mirrors. They played that song when he met with his ex-wife. They played that song when he was leaving, when Angela got carried off. And I want to say they played that song. They played that song again. It was, I don't know if it was when he met Renee, the 7th Cavalry lady, but so man, I took some notes because, I mean, like I said, that's my shit. But I went and I was looking at the lyrics of that song. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking about, like, that song is, it talks about failure. It talks about betrayal. And it's like a song, like a swan song. It's like to end something. Now, in my mind, when I first watched this episode, I thought that Wade was gonna survive. I'm like, he's gonna be all right, because they can use him again for something else later on to maintain the lab, maintain some kind of order or whatever. Maybe he could stave off Angela when she gets free. But after I watched it a second time and I noticed how they use the cues to this song, and then I saw the parallels, because there have been parallels between Wade or Looking Glass and Rorschach throughout the whole show, even though the
including his not wanting to remove his mask, even though the reason are different.
Yeah,
was he eating beans in this fucking
he
episode?
Was eating beans, and that was parallel to Rorschach. Yeah,
with the mask on, right?
With the mask on, just pulled up over his nose, just like Rorschach did. So looking at that, I was saying to myself, thinking back to how it all went for Rorschach, when Rorschach found out that Adrian Voight was responsible for the squid thing, and he was like, oh no, that's it, we gotta blow the whistle. Dr. Manhattan was like, nah, you can't do that, and he poof killed him. And so that's how Rorschach dies. Dr. Manhattan kills him. So as I'm looking at this, it seems like every time they queuing up Careless Whispers, it's like he's saying goodbye, because they queued it up when the old girl took his clothes and her ass was out of there. They queued it up with him and his wife, and they parted. I felt like that was him saying goodbye, or that was their last conversation they was gonna have. And that's why at the end of it, when them guys came in, I'm like,
so you predicted he gonna die?
I think they gonna kill him, because there's no comfort in the truth. Pain is all you'll find. That's one of the lyrics from Careless Whispers. We hurt each other with the things we want to say.
Wait, the truth being what he actually learned about the reality of the world.
I mean, well, those are lyrics to the song.
I mean, but yeah, in this context, yeah.
Yeah, because and because they played this song like at least at a minimum 5 times. Mm-hmm. I'm like, they kept calling you back to this song. And that's what was great for me, because I love that fucking song. So I'm just listening to it, and I'm looking, and I'm like, man, the episode was crazy. But it wasn't necessarily without some issues. So one of the things that I know that I when I was doing some research, the squid, I don't even think the squid really attacked anybody when it came there, because it looked like it was teleported inside of some buildings, and tentacles was in buildings and shit like that. And then I think it was just like, once it arrived, it was dead. I don't think it actually did any kind of actions, just the man bomb thing. But because if it was swinging its stuff, so the teleportation is what kills the squid. That's what the research says. It was not, the technology that they had was not adequate enough to allow the squid to survive. So Ozymandias had screenwriters, much like he did for the Watchmaker's son. He had screenwriters on the island writing for like 6 months or plus for this story, for a movie of a giant alien squid. So the giant alien squid, everything that happened was the plot for this whole movie. So the writers came up with all this, and the mind attacks from the squid were horrifying nightmares from its universe or its world. So those were supposed to be imprinted on the survivors, which was why they couldn't sleep. So I'm like, that was one of the inconsistencies, because they woke up in nightmares, but they never really necessarily described the nightmares. So I just figured, they don't want to go into that detail. So that wasn't a big deal. But so tell me, if Wade could tell if people were lying, old girl Renee, when she was talking about that movie that was supposed to be the Schindler's List, Pale Horse, when she was talking about the movie, and she was talking about how she was afraid of the squids and all of that in the movie, and fucking was the only thing that made her feel safe, I kind of feel like that was a lie. Because when he follows her back to the hideout, she seems to be fully aware that the squid wasn't even a real thing.
Wait, who says the squid wasn't real?
The squid was there. It was real, but it was a hoax.
I get what you're saying. I would have to go back. What exactly is it that she said?
Well, she was talking. She was talking about how she's afraid all the time, and he was saying that, well, he's not afraid, and we know he was lying.
So here's the thing: so in context, it can be assumed that she's afraid of being attacked by a squid again. But what if she's afraid of something else? What if she was telling the truth, but in her head she's thinking about something else? Okay,
that might work.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like she still might have her issues. It might not be because she's scared that a squid is just gonna appear for no reason all of a sudden again. But
she's gonna do all that on camera.
shit dry.
Word. Yeah. I was just wondering. I was like, it didn't dawn on me that he developed his lie detecting ability until, I think you told me, like, man, homegirl is like scarred him for life, and now he got a bullshit detector. And I'm like, I don't think he's as good at it as he thinks he is, like, because I don't know, I just felt like she was sliding some lies in on him and he wasn't catching it, because much like when he was in that House of Mirrors, he was feeling her, so he was falling for her.
You talking about the notes that I sent you? Because we ain't talking about this shit.
Well, yeah, you were, because I think you were saying something about like him getting lied to when he was younger is how he developed his skill.
Yes,
with being able to
not how, but
his reason
is the motivation for needing to develop that skill.
And I didn't think of that.
And also, yeah,
I didn't think of that.
Mm-hmm. This is what do you call that? What every superhero has a origin. What do you call that? Origin story or what the fuck
there you go? Origin, origin story, man. Origin.
Now, see, you just said a word, and I'm gonna have to rewind it. And you know what? Now I'm gonna have to do some editing. You said a word earlier that I knew that was wrong. Or I don't say that shit like that. That was about 20 minutes ago. So anyway,
what word was it?
I can't fucking remember, but I will bring it up on the tape. I say words wrong
all the time.
I'll bring that shit up on the tape. But anyway, okay. Wait, so you done?
I mean, I got other shit, but I've been talking for a minute. Go ahead.
Wow. Hey, did you catch dude from The Sopranos?
Yeah, I caught that.
In their little commercial, I thought that was hilarious.
All them people look like they wasn't really there. Did you notice that? It didn't look like they was really in New York. If you watch it, it looked like they had an imagery of New York playing behind them, and they was like green screened over New York.
Possible. Probably.
Yeah, I don't think they was really there. It looked fun.
Which would be ironic for a commercial trying to get people back there. Actually, that's pretty interesting. That sounds pretty funny. Yeah. All right, let me ask you this. So in the Calvary's lair.
Mm-hmm.
On the wall, I saw an eye. And at first, I was going to assign that eye to Dr. Manhattan, but it's not. Dr. Manhattan actually had an atom circulating a nucleus.
Mm-hmm. That's the squid's eye.
Is it?
The squid had one eye.
Okay.
And Adrian Voight, when he recorded that video, and when he was they was playing it on the monitor, he was standing in front of the squid's eye. Before they teleported the squid, the actual squid was behind him. He was standing in front of the squid's eye. Yeah, that's why I said, like, homegirl ain't afraid of no squids falling. They know that shit was a hoax. So how could he not detect that?
Again,
she was lying.
That not necessarily. There might be something else that she's deathly afraid of. There might be something else that. So yeah, okay. Let's see. You already mentioned that Steven Spielberg. You know, a lot of every week they change history. Something that occurred in our universe didn't occur. You know, we got different presidents, longer terms, presidential terms. And you already mentioned the good one of this episode, the Pale Horse. Because of this incident, Steven Spielberg was never inspired to create Schindler's List, and instead created a movie called Pale Horse about this particular tragedy. Makes sense.
Is Steven Spielberg, is he Jewish?
Nigga is hold on.
Why'd you just call me? I told you I changed my name so people wouldn't call me nigga. Like, why would you just
his
call
last
me a
name
nigga? Like,
ends in Berg. Everybody whose last name ends in any kind of Berg is of Jewish. Yeah.
Oh shit. I ain't even put that together. Okay.
Goldberg,
I mean, well, that's
Spielberg, Rosenberg.
I mean, it would make sense. I get it. I just was wondering, like, okay, why would you not do a story about the
The Holocaust, because
Yeah.
well, not to say that this fake tragedy would be a bigger tragedy, because I haven't necessarily looked at the numbers of people dead, but you can imagine that it's one thing for man to kill other men, as terrible as it may be. I think that that would be superseded in most people's mind by an alien attack.
Right. I get you. I get you. I get
So
you.
it makes sense.
I get you. Hey, before we move on, this was the last thing that I had. So if my man, since we was talking about the cavalry headquarters, if my man's had PTSD and he was so fearful, I'm wondering, like, why the fuck do you run into that damn facility with a 6-shooter and not wait for backup?
No one
For
ever
the
said.
story purposes.
No one ever said. Although, okay, number one, I agree. I thought it was dumb as fuck for him to not wait for backup. Absolutely, 1000% agree with that. For the story purposes, I guess he had to go in. He didn't need to. That's stupid. But no one ever said he got PTSD. For people, his fear is of aliens. He ain't scared of no man.
Yeah.
He doesn't see, or at least I haven't seen him express that. His fear is of an alien attack, not of men. If he was scared of people, I don't think he would have joined the police force.
Okay. Dan is Dan. I get, maybe I'm more afraid of drowning than I am of burning by fire, but I don't want to do either. This death.
Okay, that
So
sounds logical to a person, but who doesn't have that particular thing. But he did walk out of a funhouse maze and literally see dozens of bodies lying on the ground, and and it was just an accident that he didn't also join that. He could have died. So yeah, although dying might be dying, his fear is focused on alien attacks, and it's totally understandable.
yeah, I felt like he was that. I was just trying to think of that, like, for him to have carried that with him, like when you saw the extent of how he applied that shit to his life, you was like, man, his PTSD is rough. And he was, I don't know, he seemed to be, I started looking at him like when he was telling lies, like when he told a lie to the FBI lady, Agent Blake. I'm like, I feel like he's got a tail when he lies. Like he kind of looked to the side, like he look around like he don't want to get caught. And I'm thinking that from the actor's standpoint, he's doing that intentionally. So, that makes sense to me as to why he puts this reflective hood over his whole face to hide the fact that he's lying, since he's good at telling figuring out people lie. So I'm thinking like he's hiding the fact that he's like a horrible liar, because he's lying all over the place. He lying to his AA meeting, and he lying at the job, and he telling people like,
he's
I'm cool.
lying, but do you have any evidence of him being a horrible liar?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. I feel like as I'm watching him, when he ain't got his mask on and he tells a lie, I feel like he's got a tail. Like
you feel like that, but ain't nobody else picked up on it. Ain't nobody in the world picked up on it.
How you know ain't nobody in the world picked up?
They haven't shown that in the story, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Only one who was able to pick up on that is the cavalry person, and that's because they obviously been watching him for a long time. But like, for example, you say he's lying to his group. No one in the group picked up on that except for the girl who infiltrated it for the purposes of bringing him in.
Right.
Angela hasn't expressed that she knew he was lying. Only reason she knows anything is because she bugged him. So I'm not saying he's not lying, but I don't see no evidence of him being a terrible liar.
Well, maybe not a terrible, okay, bad choice of words, not a terrible liar, but from the viewers, from a viewer's perspective, I feel like he's, as an actor, he's purposely doing something to tell. Like, you know how they horribly lie on Power? Like, you just obviously know everybody's lying. I feel like he's subtly telling us that he lied.
Oh, I could definitely, I can agree on the incredible acting skills of the actor.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The actor himself is he's definitely playing the part really well.
So I was just thinking that in his conscious, as the character, he knows that he possibly has a tail. So maybe that's another reason for him covering his face.
Maybe. Maybe. I can see that. I see what you're saying. All right. Anything else on that? What are your thoughts so far? I still, is this a multi season series, or is this just a
I believe so. I believe it is. I was not a believer that DC had stronger characters or stories than Marvel, but I forgot that Watchmen was a DC property. And after watching this, I'm like,
Watchmen was a one-off though, right?
What do you mean, a one-off?
Watchmen was just a graphic novel. Was it an ongoing thing, or?
I think it ran for a while, but they brought it to an end. Probably because, you know, with every time they get writers and they start books, they kind of get everybody's under a contract. So you're contractually bound to write this book for X amount of years. You're contractually bound to ink this book, color this book, you know, just draw or whatever. And then they switch up the team. You get different artists come in for another contract and stuff. So I figure that maybe back in its time, the popularity wasn't substantial enough. So they probably just ended it. And that's why they brought it to a close. But man, it's deep as shit. And I'm like, this is far ahead of where Marvel is as far as storytelling is concerned and the depth. I think so. I mean, Marvel does a good job, but like, this is like, they ain't afraid to take it there.
You think this would be approved by Scorsese, who thinks the Marvel movies are roller coaster rides or carnival rides or whatever he said?
I feel like that old motherfucker was trolling. And that's funny to me that somebody so old would decide to troll. That's so hypocritical.
I think I want to address that, but I don't want to address that now. If you done, let's wrap this on up, and then let's get to talking about Rick and Morty season 4, episode 2.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So Rick and Morty season 4, episode 2. Quick recap. Rick goes through extreme lengths, you know, for if you don't watch this show,
I don't.
It's going to sound like a very strange show on it, and it kind of is. So Rick goes through extreme lengths to protect his toilet and anybody else using it. And Jerry, the Morty's dad, Jerry's jealousy and his ongoing beef with Rick, causes him to refuse to follow Rick's instructions and develop an alien app that ends up threatening to end all civilization and on planet Earth.
If he don't leave the toilet alone?
Two different stories. Side story. The app ends up potentially leading to the destruction of all humanity. Really fucking weird. This show. But I gotta say, you know, I'm not gonna go into depth on this. We're gonna keep this quick. You haven't watched this yet, right?
Nah, I've never watched Rick and Morty. But that's sound like some serious shit, no pun intended. Like, I protect my toilet too, shit.
Well, he has He has a toilet, the perfect toilet, because he calls himself a what was that, private shitter, or he doesn't like shitting in public or whatever. So in another dimension on another planet, this perfect paradise, there is one toilet sitting there, and it's Rick's. The whole planet is Rick's private shitter. Just he can shit and watch this beautiful, amazing. Was there sunrise? I don't know. I think I saw diamonds in the sky. It was like this just perfect, amazing scenery. And he can take a nice, relaxing dump. And yeah. So
That's funny.
This episode, number one, this episode was better than the first episode of season 4. I'll say that. And because I judge comedies by a very simple thing. Without even thinking about it, did I laugh? And I got to like really laugh, like, or did I just chuckle inside? That's how I judge a comedy. So if I'm watching it, like for example, I ain't laughed at a Simpsons episode in like the last 4 years. They're just not funny. You know what I'm saying? Or did you just say to yourself, haha? You know, I actually laughed. I actually laughed when I watched this particular episode. There was a bug scene. That shit was funny. You know, he said some funny shit. There was a couple good points in here. And yeah, Dan Harmon and his team, they're on point with their shit. And I also saw that they stick to the story circle, which is something I think I'll make a video about in the future. But to sum it up, each episode of this show does follow a full, hero's journey, or even 2 in the case of this particular episode. So it's usually well written, even if it does have a bunch of crazy shit going on.
Okay,
and that's all I got to say about it. It's good. It's still worth a watch. So I guess the next show is C. We can give you guys a reaction to C.
I'm never gonna dance again. My bad. That's my shit.
Wait. They did do that in Watchmen, didn't they? Is that what I heard that? I know I just heard.
That's the song. That's Careless Whispers. Yeah, that's my shit. Okay. That shit been playing in my head all day.
Okay. All right. C season. Hold on. For the clips. C season 1, episode 5. So again, C is Apple Plus's streaming. One of their first shows on the new Apple Plus streaming platform. We're already on episode 5 now. Quick recap. So the queen, old girl, made herself the queen. She gets herself, she done killed off her whole kingdom, or whatever little city bit around the dam, and she done destroyed that shit, and walks off with her little concubine or whatever she's supposed to be. And I guess one driver. I don't know why they still fucking following her. She has no power. There's no money, but whatever. So she ain't rich, but I don't know. I don't know how power dynamics work in this universe, but so she ends up getting herself captured by someone who is old and wise enough to recognize that she is either rich or a noble person or some kind of highborn person, and doesn't give a fuck, is going to immediately put her to work, slave labor in a textile mill, making silk garments for presumably other rich people. Meanwhile, the kids have to go and rescue their mom's purse, and the kids have to go and rescue their mom's purse. The mom is lost her little purse. It's about the size of it's even smaller than a Crown Royal bag. It's just really tiny little purse with something in it, and no one can understand why the fuck she is willing to send the kids out, the husband out, send the whole family out to find this little trinket, even though she says it's an heirloom from her mom. No one can understand why something like that could be that important when they're literally running for their lives from the witch hunters. They are being tracked down and are threatened to be killed, and yet she still insists that they go find this little bag. Well, they find it and they pick up a new straggler along the way, another one of Jarrell's kids. He's walking around the world just impregnating women. Seems like a good job to restart the world. But they find this little Crown Royal bag, and we find out why it's so important. Because are you planning on watching this? Maybe you should go away or something, because I'm just finna spoil the whole thing for you.
No, you good. All
right. It's because it turns out that she actually turns out to herself be of royal descent. Once she gets the thing, the little bag, she disappears right in the middle of her family and her little bitty tribe being overtaken by the witch hunters. They have caught up to them. They are about to get them. Instead of they were supposed to be hiding and shit, and the men are fighting and the kids are fighting because they could see, and the women are hiding in the tree. And the mom said, "No, fuck that," and she walked out. She disappeared on them. And she walked right up to the witch hunter. And right before he killed her, she jingling, did that little thing. She pulled out the same thing that other crazy lady had when she was ding, 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 ding. And she pulled this little thing out. I don't know. It just it's some little metal clangy sound thing. But apparently, the people in the know recognize it for what it is, a sign that she is a princess. So the heirloom that was passed down from her mother to her was evidence that she is royalty. And the the witch hunter immediately takes a knee and hails her and has his whole army take a knee, and they cut to black. So, look, this show was meh the first 4 episodes to me. I mean, I was watching it because it was Apple Plus. I was watching it pretty much, that's the only reason why. It was Apple Plus first show, and that's why I was watching it. But I gotta say, it took a slightly interesting turn. Interesting enough that I'll probably watch it for a few more episodes just to see what happens next. Still think the shit.
You started giving your synopsis on it. You got to finish the season. You got to commit.
I ain't got to finish shit. If the shit sucks, I ain't gonna finish it. Yeah. I mean, the only thing I'm committing to is Power, and even them.
I was gonna say Power sucks.
If I can stop watching The Walking Dead, I can damn sure stop watching C.
Oh yeah, you gotta let me do one of these for that, because I just got caught up on it. But yeah, so I mean, would you recommend C?
Not right now, but I said, this is getting better.
That's the only show.
I gotta see where it's going.
That's the only original show that Apple has.
No, they got a couple. They also have the other one is The Morning Show. And in my opinion, it's a better show. It's not really, it's more of a drama. It's not really, I don't know if it's like a geeky type thing or urban geek type thing, but I like it. It's more of a drama. And so far, I don't know. We'll see where it goes. Okay. But
so it's not worth the subscription?
I haven't seen anything that's worth the subscription yet.
Okay.
We got really 2 more Two more things to talk about: Titans and the Mandalorian.
Oh, hold on. For you go away. So none of the original shows for Apple are worth the subscription, in your opinion. No. A lot of these streaming services generally have 1 to 2 bangers that are interesting enough for people to get the subscription or the free trial. How many do you think they need to? I mean, we know one show will get you to sign up for the free trial. How many shows do you think would warrant the actual subscription? This is just in my opinion. Since we was talking about Apple Plus, and I'm like,
I think for a subscription to anything, for anything to warrant a subscription, you need, what's more important is really a history of good shows. You would sign up to something because you know that they're going to consistently, at least twice or 3 times a year, come out with something really good. You know, HBO isn't just worth subscribing to just because of Game of Thrones. As great as that was, HBO is worth subscribing to because of, you know, that you're going to constantly get something good from them. Or, you know, now we into Watchmen. Yeah. A few months ago, it was Game of Thrones. Right. Any channel, even the ones that don't have subscription fees, like AMC is good because it's AMC. They've given us so many bangers over the year. FX is good because they have given us so many consistent. You need that reputation to be worth subscribing to. Even Netflix, and Netflix fucking sucks, but they just simply have a reputation that they may not have the best shit on TV, but you know that they're going to always consistently give you something new, and sometimes it'll hit. So that's, and a lot of people might make Netflix worth a subscription, at least just for the sheer amount of content that they offer.
Word. Okay. I got you.
But all right, let's move on to the Titans. So, Titans Season 2, Episode 11. Now, you don't watch Titans, huh? And I'm really surprised by
show.
this. I'm surprised by this.
So you got to get the... Okay. I know that there are some people who have...
Hold on. Stop. I ain't do my job. Hold on.
Oh, you still got C up there.
Yeah, we ain't gonna do that. Fuck it. All right, there we go. Go ahead. We'll let people see the players fuck up.
Yeah.
Players fuck up. All right, go ahead. What was you saying?
This shit ain't mistake. It's on purpose. I was seeing if you caught it. Goddamn it.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I'm not subscribing to DC. Like DC, whatever it is, the DC universe, DC, whatever. Like, I know there are some people who have Fire Sticks, and you know they can watch whatever the fuck they want to watch.
I ain't talking about that on there.
But no. I'm just saying. I know that, but the DC, like Titans, is probably the only thing that I've seen that I might be interested in. There was another one. Is it Umbrella Academy? That's on Netflix, right?
That's Netflix.
That's DC though, ain't it? Is it DC?
It looks like some DC type shit. It don't look like some Marvel type shit.
Yeah, DC got another show other than Titans that's on there that looks like I would probably watch it, but I don't think any of them are necessarily worth my subscription. Like,
okay,
yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
Let me recap this episode real quick. Oh shit, I didn't make good notes on this one. Well, okay.
See?
Off the cuff.
It ain't worth it.
No, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. You know what? Basically, at this point, we're watching the transformation of Robin.
And I love fucking Nightwing.
Into Nightwing. So we're watching his transformation right now. Now, here's the thing. So instead of recap, I'm just going to explain why this show is dope. This show, normally when I see DC shit, and I'm really should say CW DC shit, it's just terrible. Or not even that. Like even when they did like Gotham on Fox, it's like always some shit they can't touch. And I guess you kind of answered the question. I guess because this is on their streaming service right now, you answered the question for me. They are allowed to touch everybody in this. So there's no alluding to Batman. There's a fucking Batman in here. There's no alluding to this person or that person. They're in there. They're showing them. And so you got Batman, you got cursing, adult themes, violence. I mean, Robin, and I don't know that I agree with this, but Robin comes right out the gate killing motherfuckers. So Beast Boy is killing motherfuckers. Yeah, Beast Boy is killing motherfuckers. This ain't Teen Titans Go. This shit, and the funny thing about this is that I started watching it last year, and I only got through half of the first season, and I knew at that point, I'm like, damn, this is good. But I don't know what got me distracted. I had seen, I guess something else must have been out at the time, and I just got distracted, and I forgot to finish it. So I got back to it a couple weeks ago, and I finished it on out, and I'm like, holy fucking shit. This series is really fucking good. The series is good. It is the best, I think the best depiction of the Titans on screen that I've seen, period, so far.
I thought you was gonna say best DC. I was gonna say Watchmen, nigga.
And then not only that, but they've also changed my mind about something, a long held opinion that I've had. Now I've always held this. I hate the copy paste characters. I just hate them. Okay? Like, instead of coming up with a new character, you got Superman. Let me just copy paste him a few times. Now you got Supergirl. You know what I'm saying? Or now you got Superboy. And then now, you know what I'm saying? Like all these fucking copy paste characters. But they have fleshed these characters out and made me like them. They got all the copy paste characters because it's Teen Titans, so of course they got copy paste characters from Justice League. So they got Wonder Woman's little copy, whatever she is. I forget her name. Aqualad, Wonder Girl, just all the. Hey, yeah,
they all on Titans.
They all on here, and they all stand on their own, and they all good, and I like them all. And I like them all. And I have never liked copy paste characters. They even, let me tell you something. And this is where it get. They even got Crypto Dog in there, and it's not cheesy. They even got Superboy's Crypto Dog that can shoot lasers out his eyes and fly and do super barks. And yet somehow this shit is not cheesy. That's how good the show is.
That's interesting because I was always wondering what the choreography was like, how the costumes played, and they made Starfire look bogus, and that made me mad because when they made Starfire a sister, I was cool with that. But before the show came out, the promo shots, you know, before they added all the extra stuff, she kind of looked bogus. And so that just kind of made me feel a certain way. I'm like, man,
she look good now, and she's very strong-willed, and everybody is an individual, fleshed out character, and it's pretty fucking good. And I like them all. And Robin, and right now in episode 11, Robin's turning like Nightwing. I like everybody, and my only complaints about this show, this episode, and this show in general. I like whatever this actor Leon Glenn, whatever his name is. I like him as an actor. I even think that he makes an okay Bruce Wayne, maybe old man Bruce, but I don't see him really as Batman. He, I don't see him as Batman, and they even got him doing some shit that it doesn't look like this guy could actually do. But so I'm not convinced about him as Batman, but whatever. I'm okay with it. And then there's a character on there, not Deadpool. What the fuck is his name? Deadshot. Is that his fucking name?
No, you talking about Deathstroke, right?
Deathstroke. Yeah, thanks.
My man
Deathstroke's daughter is on here. Rose. Her character, just in general, is annoying to me, and that's about it. But other than that, yeah. This show is good.
Tara on there? The one who could lift rocks and move rocks? Mm-mm. Okay, she was like a little acolyte to Deathstroke, and I know the actor who's playing Deathstroke on Titans plays. Damn, I can't think of his name, but he's like the boss on or the initial boss on Ozark.
I never actually even finished that one.
Yeah, but you saw the pilot, right? The first episode.
I've seen almost the first season. I think I finished the season out of Ozark, the first season.
Right. My man's who comes into the office in the beginning looking for his money, he plays Slade.
Oh
Wilson.
Yeah. That is.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, he looks the part. So, nah, you making me want to watch this shit because I like Teen Titans. I ain't never watched Titans Go. That looked like some shit that I wouldn't.
No, fuck that. First of all, Titans Go is good to me. I mean, I think people are too judgmental. It's good. It's a fun cartoon. But this takes the Titans very, very, very seriously.
I don't like silly shit. Like, I mean, it could be good, but it's just not my cup of tea. Like, anytime if you take a cartoon and ground it in serious, real world shit, I'm on board. But like silliness, I don't want to watch that. It's too much shit.
You don't like silly cartoons?
Teen Titans was grounded in like with some serious consequences.
Okay.
I fucked with that.
You don't
Titans Go or Teen Titans Go
stories and making it
where they be all silly. Well, what was that? They had it. Like I watched the episode because my son was watching the episode, and it was about like the bro code, and they went up to some mountain, and they was practicing the bro code, and they made it like a fraternity that you had to be a part of or something, and like Starfire and them was trying to be part of it, and they was like, these women can't be part of the bro code. And I'm like, this shit is I'm like, I don't want to see this.
Yeah, fuck that.
I don't want to see the bro code.
I like that show. But all right, let's get to the let's get to the heart of the show this episode. Let's discuss the Mandalorian. All right, the Mandalorian. Episode 2. This is the big one. This is the big one. We've been talking about a lot of shows this episode, but this is my favorite show this week. So, quick recap. Mando continues his trek back to his ship with little baby Yoda in hand. Well, not hand, in float. But whatever, we'll get to that. Only to discover that it's been stripped by a group of Jabberwockies. After trying and failing to stop the Jabs on his own, he chased down the tank, climbed the tank, then got kicked immediately the fuck off the tank. He goes back to Pigface Nick Nolte, who agrees to help Mondo negotiate with the Jabs. So after attempting to trade the ship parts back to Mando in exchange for his armor, you know what I'm saying? Like they asked for his armor. He said no. Fuck that. They asked for Baby Yoda. He said no, don't be ridiculous. Or at least that's what Pigface Nick Nolte said. They then settle on they will give him his parts back if he goes and gets the egg of a hairy space rhino. Mando gets his butt kicked and is then immediately saved in the most fantastic fucking way ever that had to make every fucking Star Wars fan leap out their seat, probably except for you, by Baby Yoda, who uses the Force uses the Force to lift the mom in the air, allowing Mando to land a deadly blow with his pocket knife. Baby Yoda immediately gets all tuckered out by the exertion of the Force and falls asleep. They go back. They give the egg to the Jabberwockies or whatever the fuck you call them, and it turns out the Jabberwockies, these assholes, had no particular use for the egg other than a fucking snack. So mama had to die just so these motherfuckers could have a snack. He got his shit back. Pigface ended up helping him fix the ship, and he was able to take off with Baby Yoda in hand. Thoughts? Take it away.
One of these days, let me get this mic right. One of these days, you're gonna give me my flowers and my praises, because like when I call it, when I say that shit gonna be dope, it's like every time I say shit gonna be dope, you be like, nah, that shit ain't gonna be dope, and then you be coming back, oh my god, that shit is so dope. I'm like, bro, I knew that
the Mandalorian is dope.
I didn't know that it was gonna be dope, but I had a feeling that it was gonna be dope. That the production on this shit is outstanding. I love the fact that they use movie quality because the Jabberwockies look like the ones in the movie. I like that they don't try to do the prequel series on us and make them just computer generated.
You like the use of practical mixed with like, because they could have with the Jabberwockies' eyes, they could have used all. I don't know if they did use computer rendered or not, but like the shifting of the red in their eyes,
it looked like they put some light bulbs in it.
A practical effect. Yeah.
That was perfect. I enjoyed that, and clearly, Baby Yoda is a puppet in most cases. But I love that. That is great.
The practical special effects is amazing. Yeah, I'm glad they went that route. I agree.
Yeah. They're finally figuring it out, and I'm appreciative of that. They actually, the distinction between them and DC, they didn't double down on the dumb shit. Well, they did, but I mean, they're figuring it out. So I'm appreciative of that. The story, short, concise. It didn't really. By the end of it, I watched it a couple of times. It didn't really give us anything. I mean, it gave us the Force.
It answered the biggest question that everybody. The biggest question episode 1 is going to introduce. We even talked about this on last week's show. Is and we talked about this, TR. We talked about this shit. Like, I told you the motherfucker had the Force. Why would they put a baby Yoda in there without the fucking Force?
And I did a little background checking. Okay, so like you said, every last one of his race is Force sensitive. So you was right. And this is the third, at least in film, this is the third one. Mm-hmm. Right, because there was a female species who was on the
in
Jedi
episode
Council.
1.
So it's got me wondering, was Yoda slinging that green thing
That
around
would
the
be against
galaxy?
his religion.
But dude, the baby is 50. We don't know when Yoda came into the Force. Like, how the baby 50? That I don't know if I like that.
That would put the baby around the exact same age as Anakin, which means that that would mean he would have been born at the same time Anakin was born, around the same time, and that would mean that Yoda would have been on the Jedi Council at the time. So
my concerns are the doctor in episode 1 had the patch from and I'm a Star Wars fan.
A clone
Kamino. He had a Kamino patch on him, so that was implying that he's a cloner. So that was implying that they trying to kind of get this baby back, not get the baby for the first time, get the baby back. So,
well, hold on.
I mean, it brings up more questions.
He said he wanted to study the baby.
Right.
That's what he said. So I don't know that implies that he's trying to get it back or get it for the first time.
Yeah. I mean, well, even still, I mean, because he could want to clone it.
It could definitely be a clone.
I mean, even if he cloned it, after you create it, you study it. So he could have cloned it, or he could be wanting to clone it. Either or. But I mean, it raises questions for me. Like, I want to know, because neither one of the other two depictions of that species had all black eyeballs, and so that was kind of, I don't know if I was kind of wondering.
Black. Actually, this is funny, and I know exactly what you're talking about, because watch it again, and this time actually watch it on your phone. There's a scene when they do a close up, and I noticed it, and this is why I was like, wow, the special effects are really good. You can see irises and everything in its eyes.
Okay.
So take another look, and look on a really good monitor, or maybe your computer, turn the brightness up and take another look. You will see a full what's the part around the eye?
Pupil no, I know what
you see. You see a pupil, and then what's around the pupil?
I thought it's not the iris.
Maybe it is the iris. Okay, so you see a pupil, you see an iris. It's not just all black. Yeah, right. It's not just all black. It's really subtle, but you will see it on one of the close-ups.
Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, and it's funny. You think you know me because you like I'm the only one who wouldn't have been cheering for the fucking Force being used.
But didn't you say this, though, last week? You did say, I'd be upset if I don't think I like it if every one of the Yoda species is connected to the Force.
I mean,
you literally said that.
I guess, okay, it's the third one in all of these years. So I had to kind of back off of that ledge. Like, all right, it ain't like they everywhere, but where this little motherfucker come from? Like, like who birthed you, my G? Like, don't nobody know where your planet at. Don't nobody know where your people at. You just pop the fuck up.
That's how they all show up, because even Yoda wouldn't say who his divulge any of that information to the Jedi Council. Even
I am enjoying the character. I'm especially enjoying the character because they using a puppet and they making his ass cute and adorable. Yeah, and so I'm enjoying the way they're using him, and the fact that he used the Force. I did cringe a little bit, but and then my man's passed out. He passed out, and I was like, I can't be mad at little homie.
That's too cute.
I can't be mad at little homie, but I still, in my bones, I still kind of feel like y'all kind of cheating. Y'all doing that because y'all know y'all done fucked up, and y'all trying to get back in the good graces. It like the Force Awakens was a rehashing of New Hope, and that was kind of the cheat code. Like y'all kind of just gave us what you knew we already liked. I kind of feel like that's what they doing with little Baby Yoda.
We ain't never seen a Baby Yoda, man.
Yeah, I mean, depending on where he come from, it could all be good. So I mean, I don't want to put the carriage in front of the horse. I cringed a little bit, but I'm like, okay, let me back off.
I think
it'd be good.
I think that Disney agrees with me, and they have figured out what I feel, that Star Wars without the fucking Force is dumb as fuck.
That's why I cringe. That's why I cringe, because
but you cringe when
you're not a reader of the book. You're not a reader of the book.
Books. That shit's dead, man. Let the books go.
That was the best shit.
But that shit is not canon. That is not what this is. That shit's dead.
It's not canon? It's not canon? It's so not canon that Star Wars was sucking, so now they making it canon. So it don't canon? Suck no more.
Wait,
fuck out of here.
What are you talking about? What exactly are you talking about?
Because you saying that the books ain't canon. You're right. They legend. The books ain't canon. They legend. But the canon started to suck, so much so that now they starting to go back to the books and try and make the books canon.
Which book was this story that we watching now?
It wasn't no book, but that's besides the point.
No, but that's the point you're trying to make.
I'm saying,
sorry, which book?
The method to storytelling that they used in the books was great. And the method to storytelling that they start using in the movies since Disney got it was not great. So now they're going back to the method of storytelling with the books. They starting to more and more stories from the books.
You can't tie this show into the books. Just because you like this show and you like the books don't mean that their method of storytelling is the same. Okay, which book has a similar method of storytelling to the 2 episodes you've seen thus far?
With Bounty Hunters?
I'm trying to understand is there a Mandalorian book? Is there a Mandalorian book?
There's not necessarily a Mandalorian. There might be, but I haven't read a Mandalorian book. But they are diving deep into it's the method of storytelling.
How they just like that shit, man. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I like all that shit. No, I'm just saying how they're actually going into the heritage of like the Mandalorian. Like for example, his whole getup, his armor and everything. Like the Mandalorians are scattered throughout the galaxy. A lot of them have taken up the bounty hunter roles. They don't just come off an assembly line with all their gear. Like all of the Mandalorians that we've seen prior to this have like the jetpacks. He ain't got that yet because they didn't start him off fully developed. They started him off like he's building his persona.
So would you mean like, would it be fair to say that you're saying they're adding more detail and lore into it?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And they're fleshing him out. They've broken him down to a bare form. He got like the little grappling hook on one hand, the flamethrower on the other hand. He tried to singe the shit out them motherfucking Jabberwockies. I was like, burn. I haven't
seen that fucking flamethrower work for anything good yet.
I don't care. That shit was funny. He was like, he popped it out and he tried to flame their ass. That shit was hilarious. That was like the funniest part of the episode to me. But I mean, they gave him that. He got the Christmas special rifle, which is funny as fuck when he just popped their ass in the smoke. That was hilarious. And he got the little side holster. And that's about it. That's all he got. His helmet is the best thing, whatever, the armor, and now he got one shoulder pad. And he's slowly building himself into an actual Mandalorian. Because
it does feel like a video game.
Yeah, contrary to popular belief, Boba Fett and Jango Fett wasn't recognized by the Mandalorian species or people as Mandalorians.
Right.
So, yeah.
It definitely feels like a video game. This particular episode felt like a side quest that did give us more information, though. Revealed something pretty important. Oh, when little baby, I hate to call him Baby Yoda because I know that's not correct, although it might be if he ends up being a clone of Yoda. But anyway, when little baby Yoda walks up twice and tries to heal his arm, that's kind of significant because number one, I don't know that I've ever seen the Force in the movies canon being used to heal injuries.
They did. I'm trying to remember.
Movie?
I'm trying to remember who did it. I think, was it in episode 2 or 3?
No, dog.
I can't remember. No. They have done it in the movie. Somebody used the Force. It's okay. I can't remember who. I can't remember which movie it was in. It's, if you are a book reader of Star Wars, it's known that the Force can accelerate healing. The Jedi use it, but the Sith do not. The Sith embrace the pain and the struggle, so they refuse to use it. It's a light side thing. So
I feel you, but I don't think no one's used that in current canon. I can't recall. And
I watched the video. Somebody did.
You bringing up like Jedi and shit. It ain't that many goddamn Jedi in canon because they were all wiped out after.
Bullshit.
It wasn't in 1 through 3. And then after 3, it's only like 2 or 3 Jedi who was ever on the screen again. So which Jedi was it? Luke?
Since Disney has gotten Star Wars, I feel like there have been more Jedi that survived Order 66 than a little bit.
That's true, but we talking about
video
movies.
Game,
you said it was used in movies. Where?
It was used in a movie. It was used in a movie. I want to say Yoda used the Force
to heal who?
On somebody. Damn, bro. I told you. I'm trying to remember. I know somebody. I was watching some videos. I'm trying to do research on this shit.
How about this? Motherfuckers in the comments. Could you please settle this for us, please? Type down below who Yoda healed or who some Jedi healed with light side Force power, because I ain't never seen that shit happen on any movie. I think he did it to
Luke. I think it was Yoda healing Luke.
Okay. We'll see in the comments. And we will definitely bring this up next week. We'll definitely bring it up next week.
Because I'm going to find this shit out. And I'm going to shut your motherfucking purple background having ass down.
You sure will try, but let me tell you something. It's never happened.
Didn't I tell you? Motherfucker don't never give me my flowers. He always doubts.
I have spoken.
That is the most gangster line I have heard all year. I like that, but nah.
I'm gonna just do the black version of it.
You just fucked it up, cause
I'm gonna do the black version of it from now. I said what I said. That's the black version of it.
That is the black version. That is.
I said what I said.
Black version.
But okay, so keep on, go ahead, because I know really between you and me, Star Wars is definitely your thing. I mean, we both love it, but you got the depth. So what else you see?
We finally got to go inside the Jabberwockies. The little Land Rover thing, so it was funny. You got to see my man's bang his head. You got to see him go up against. I don't know that, like, that armor was beating him. Like it was. He fell off the top of that thing. He got hit several times by that rhino alien thing. Like, my man, that armor ain't all that. Like, he should have been dead. And it was. Baby Yoda's facial expressions was hilarious. With the ears was like, he looked like Gizmo from the Gremlins.
That was gonna be my question at the end. Like, who's which species is cuter? The Mogwai or the what you call it? But you gotta assume that somebody stole the design of somebody from somebody, and I think Star Wars came out first.
Yeah,
So
it did.
you have to assume that the designer Gizmo. I mean, Star Wars was the hottest thing in the 80s. Gizmo comes out, you know he had to rip that off.
Star Wars came out, the first
70s.
one came out in the 70s, the late 70s. So Gizmo was a product of the 80s. So yeah. But Yoda was not in the first Star Wars. Yoda didn't show up until Empire Strikes Back. So that was his first appearance. So
now we got to look it up and see who stole from who.
I don't know who stole what, but there's that similarity. But I would have been on board with Gizmo being the cutest of the two species, because we don't know what Gizmo looks like old, and we only just found out what Yoda would look like young. So I'm like, I don't know, but my man was killing me when he was trying to go up and heal him. He was like, and he was like, man, sit your ass down. He just kept picking him up, and that shit was hilarious. But it was I'm yelling at the screen like, just let him do it. Let him do it. Let him do it. I want to see. Right, but I don't know. It's frustrating to me how short these episodes are, and I can say, as a person who has subscribed to Disney Plus, I want to know from anybody in the comments, please tell me, if you are a Disney Plus subscriber, do you feel like it's worth it? I don't know if people are doing the month to month. I don't know if people have done the annual subscription. I caught the sale for the 3-year subscription, and a few weeks in, most of my kids are older, so I'm not sitting down binging on out of the vault movies. Like, I'll watch them eventually, but as of right now, most of the original content was what lured me in, and half of that shit won't even submerge until the end of my subscription, or by then I'll only be like 2 to 3, maybe even hopefully 4 original series in on the first season by the end of the subscription. Huh?
This is the only place you can get Disney related stuff. Disney owns everything that you watch.
That's my point.
The question of is it worth it? It's fucking $7 and you get to watch all the MCU. It's the only place you can watch.
You don't get to watch all the MCU. You got 10, maybe 15 fucking movies. You know when Thor Ragnarok is available? In July of next fucking year.
You know where it's the only place it's available? When it finally does become available?
Yeah, on my DVD rack. Shit. I could go buy the shit or whatever. Like, I'm not saying in the long run it won't be worth it. I feel like for the early subscription for the first 3 years, I think I've kind of been cheated.
For the first 3 years, it's the only place you can get Disney stuff. Simple as that. It's the only place you can get it.
Yeah, if you want to watch Snow White and shit. And it's funny that they put like...
What about it's the only place you can watch Star Wars.
Dude, Star Wars is still on sale. I've had Star Wars on VHS, DVD, Blu-ray. I don't watch it on streaming. I got tons of Star Wars around here, so that's my point. You don't have it in 4K? Okay. I ain't even got a 4K TV. Not yet, so it useless to me at this point. You know what I'm saying? I'm the average consumer.
The average consumer likes Disney. That's why Disney is the richest in the world. Yeah, because the average consumer. I'm not saying that. And also, the average consumer doesn't buy DVDs and Blu-rays; they stream everything because it's 2019, or 20 almost.
Okay, so I'm old, motherfucker.
All I'm saying is that it's the only place to get half of the world's current content. Like, they literally own half of all the shit that comes out.
All right, so I'm Adrian Voigt on this fucking planet by myself. I'm the only one who's upset that I ain't really like. I'm looking at this shit like I don't even want to. Nah, I watch Gargoyles. It's shit on there I stream, but I just feel like I want to be able to submerge myself into the MCU content, the original series and all of this stuff. And a lot of that shit ain't coming out till 2021, 2022. And I'm like, we ain't even in 2020 yet. I gave you 160 something whatever dollars for the next 3 years, and you telling me I gotta wait 2 just to see this shit.
I see your point. If you just signing up for the new shit, I see your point.
Yeah, so I mean that's all I'm saying. I ain't saying that like they not offering you anything. Of course they are, and it's Disney. I love Disney's products. You know, I like Kanye West music, but I don't like Kanye West. So, you know, neither here nor there.
I was just going to say, and with the mentioning of Kanye West, we have officially drifted hard off topic.
No, I ain't even get ready to go in there. I just an analogy. I'm not finna go there about Kanye West. But yeah, no.
Episode 2. What else you
got? Into this episode,
the fucking egg, man. Like, even the egg was practical. First of all,
I mean, it was funny how my man just just chopped the top off and was like, egg.
But here's the thing. This is Disney, right?
Right.
Don't you think it's kind of fucking dark as hell for the fact that this animal that's simply protecting its youth gotta die so these motherfuckers could have a snack? Don't you think that's kind of dark?
Yes. But it's Disney's method to take dark aspects and to polish them enough that we kind of look at them like they ain't that dark. Like Disney kills off everybody's daddy.
Yeah, that's true.
Everybody's daddy gotta die.
But this motherfucking beast did not have to die for these motherfuckers' little snacks.
Yeah, I mean, arguably.
I mean, I'm not complaining. Westerns are dark, and they did chop a motherfucker in half with a door on the first episode.
But so you gotta wonder, was this the daddy or the mom?
The mother protecting her egg.
So it was Bambi.
Yeah. Except ain't no motherfucking bit like in Bambi the child lives. Ain't no Bambi. That motherfucker got ate too. Wiped out the whole generation. I mean the whole bloodline.
I mean, but the way they played it, it was genius. Like, yeah, okay, so good he killed this thing. You brought the egg back, and then they and slice it open, and everybody just.
It was genius. I'm just bringing up. In the end, I don't give a fuck. That shit was good and funny and everything it was supposed to be.
We got the first toilet ever in Star Wars.
Star Wars last episode.
Oh, that was last episode. Fuck. Oh, my bad. I'm fucking up. Never mind.
The whole internet been talking about that damn toilet.
That shit was funny. I was like, oh, hey, toilet.
You know, I like the fact that Mando's character he fails. Fails a lot so far in the last 2 episodes. Like, he's supposed to be Mandalorian, but it's like when they make a character fail, it makes the victories feel so much better, so much more hard fought. If he was like a Bruce Lee, like I could kick anyone's ass and I don't get hurt, like super invincible, it wouldn't be as exciting. I like the fact that he almost got his ass kicked by this fucking rhinoceros. I like the fact that pig-faced Nick Nolte is confused about why it took him so long to get the fucking egg. You know what I'm saying?
Well, to quote Star Wars, Yoda, the greatest teacher failure is. So, I mean, in character development, you have to fail.
Mm-hmm.
So
I just like the writing of the show. I like the fact that they're not making him perfect. That it feels like a video game. It really does. It feels like he's like I'm watching the game, building character, going on side quests. Like it's dope, and I can't wait for next chapter. I guess they call them chapters because the movies are called episodes.
Oh, is that how they're doing it?
I mean that would make sense. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's how you're doing it. That's not how they're doing it.
What the fuck are you talking about? Yes, it is.
No, I said, is that how they're doing it? And you said you
chapters. They call them chapters.
I'm like, oh, is that what they? Because I said, is that what they're doing?
It's not episode 2. It's chapter 2, and I'm guessing somebody along the line said, let's call them chapters because the movies are called episodes. So.
Okay, all right, I get you.
That's really much it. Unless you got something else to talk about, Mandalorian, off the chain. Can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, it's only 8. Only 8 of them, man. We only got 6 more.
I hope I don't mind the length of these. I hope the next ones are a little bit longer, but I mean, I don't mind. I don't mind it. I'm just here for the ride. Fuck it.
I'm wondering what the break is in between. Is it a year or what? Because so like I said, I'm not just trying to be selfish here, but I got a 3-year subscription. So am I gonna make it through? We already in November. Am I gonna make it through season 2? Because that's a long ass time for 8 episodes.
Yeah, I feel you.
I mean, as a consumer,
don't worry. Once this go off, they gonna hit us with some Marvel shit.
The first Marvel show is next fall.
Oh shit.
That's my point. That's my point. Next fucking fall. Like, damn hell. That's what I came here for.
You'll be alright. Yeah. We'll be alright.
Let me do one of these for Walking Dead real quick. Oh, you ain't got the little. You don't got the thing.
Impromptu Walking Dead discussion.
All right, Walking Dead.
Hold on, wait. I'm finna walk the fuck out because I don't want this shit spoiled. Hold on, I'll be back.
Are you actually going to watch The Walking Dead?
I'm gonna watch it eventually.
Do you know how many seasons you got to get caught up on?
All I do is it don't matter. All I do is watch TV. I'm gonna watch it eventually.
You do.
So here, look. Just go ahead and talk. Just wave at the camera.
I'm just saying. Don't tell nobody else that all you do is watch TV. Oh,
man, I'm
shit.
a fucking critic. This is what I do.
I'm okay. I'm throwing the fuck off. I'm finna go into spoiler territory. So I don't know what episode this is, ladies and gentlemen. This here ain't even my show. This is his show. But hey, I still watch The Walking Dead. He hasn't watched it in a while, so fuck him. Here we go. So recently, if you're watching The Walking Dead, spoiler alert, you've seen Sadiq has been struggling with PTSD, and he's had to deal with the fact that when Alpha and the rest of the Whisperers had captured them in this barn or whatever it was, and they had them there, he felt like he was so paralyzed by his fear that he couldn't react. And so their Alpha is in this Negan sort of way, just killing people, taking motherfuckers out. And gradually over the last few episodes of this season, you've seen his character struggle with reliving these moments over and over again, and him being paralyzed, him being haunted with not being able to help people, and then the sickness that's been plaguing Alexandria, and he's trying to help people. It's been too much for him, and he comes to the realization that he wasn't paralyzed. He was being held down by somebody. And by the time he figures out he's being held down by somebody, and this is an impromptu because I can't even remember the motherfucker's name, but the creepy ass doctor is a whisperer, and he was the one that was holding him down. So I think it's interesting that you dealing with PTSD. I think they did a good job of bringing us, I don't know, the depiction of him dealing with the PTSD. And it's eerie that, like, oh, when he realizes that I was wrong all of this time, you know, I recalled the incident wrong. And in the moment where he's looking at his enemy and like, that shit is fucked up. He can't tell nobody. And so now we got this creepy ass whisperer in amongst the people of Alexandria. The people of Alexandria do not have a doctor. Not a doctor who's dedicated to their well-being. They've got a whisperer. But at the same time, you've got a whisperer who realizes that Alpha was lying to them. So it's a turn on both sides. Like, for the Alexandrians and for the Whisperers. So it could potentially, is this motherfucker really with the making all the damn noise? It's a turn on both sides. So I don't know. I'm not sure where it's gonna go. I know that there has probably been some kind of drop off in the viewership for The Walking Dead. I personally think that the story and the writing is still good. It's probably a little late. I think that the drop off came a couple seasons ago, and then when the writing picked back up, viewers was kind of, you know, displaced. But I'm still watching The Walking Dead. I'm still tuned in. Been watching it all this time. I fell off on the what's the other one? Fear the Walking Dead. I fell off on that like a season and a half ago. I may still get caught up. I wish he would have really went away so I didn't have to listen to that. But he don't hear me right now, so I could talk shit about him. Anyway, yeah, I wish I had. He does.
What the fuck is you smiling at, Joe? No, you talking shit.
Nah.
Hell no, you ain't got no. It ain't even a comedy show. That mean your ass over here talking shit.
Fuck that.
All right.
Yeah, but it's good. Y'all should watch it. I think that the storytelling is still good, all things considered. We'll see where it goes from here.
Cool. All right. I think that's it. I think we done. I think 2 hours is long enough. Let's wrap this up. Next week we're gonna talk. I don't even know what we're gonna talk about. I know it's gonna be more Rick and Morty. I know it's gonna be more Watchmen. I know it's gonna be more Godfather of Harlem.
Oh, so you do know what we're gonna talk about?
I guess so. And I know it's gonna be. Did I say Mandalorian? Yup. So it's definitely gonna be the same shit because that's what's popping right now. Ain't no new shows on the horizon yet. So I'll see y'all next week.
Later.